Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Molding Bench, and yes, it's review time again. We have another brand new kit on the bench from Takom this time, and this is the 1/72 scale Imperial Japanese Navy aircraft carrier Akagi Island and Flight Deck Pearl Harbor Attack 1941. And I've been looking forward to this for a long while. I also have the border model 1/35 scale on pre-order, but I actually feel this is probably the better kit, even though they are very similar priced. And I only have one reason for thinking this is the better kit. It's purely down to size. The base on this is about the same size as this box, which I think is about 300 by 400. We'll measure that in a minute. But not only that, the base in this is one piece, whereas on I have seen a review of the border model and it's made up of 4 pieces, so you've got that horrible cross in the middle to deal with. So you know, that's one thing. I have actually looked in the box very quickly just to check everything is there and it's all okay, and it all appears to be there and okay. And I have noticed one big downside to this kit that any of you that know me and follow my channel will know really, yeah, isses me off. So you'll see that when we get to it. So it says on here, detailed static display plastic model, PE and clear parts included. That's cool. So we're going to have windows and we're going to have PE for little bits and pieces. One type of marking, no shit Sherlock, and a base included. No shit Sherlock. Without a base, it wouldn't be much of an aircraft carrier flight deck, would it? So here we go. So as you can see here, rather large box. The kit number is 5023. It's saying on here it's not a toy. You don't get any figures in the kit. You don't get the that's a cake there, isn't it? You don't get the cake. You don't get any figures. You don't even get this. You get the protection here, which I believe were like rolled up cloths or something. I once thought they were like sandbags, but then somebody pointed out if they were sandbags and you shot them, they're just all empty, wouldn't they? So I think they're probably rolled up cloths or something. I'm sure somebody will tell us in the comments below. And we don't get any of the rigging either, but we've got all the mass and everything there, so we can rig it ourselves. So as you can see, nice big box. It's very deep as well. Looking around the sides, we have here the 3 views, both sides, and the forward end of the island. You can see with all the protection around there. You can see the glazing there on the bridge, and we can see all the binoculars and guns and everything there as well. So very nice indeed. 2023 it's saying there. End of the box is your typical sort of Takom, just the box art. And then here, typical Takom, it's showing the sprue call outs. So you can see here we've got the base in one piece, various sprues. It's not a massive part count, but there are lots of very small, finely moulded parts there. So sorry, it's a contradiction. It's not a massive part count, but the parts that are there are quite small. So a little sheet of photo etch there, a tiny little sheet, and a little sheet of decals as well. One thing I would suggest, if you are buying this kit off the shelf at a show or something like that, check the photo etches in there, because I put this box on its side, and then when I put it back down, the photo etch actually fell out on the bench. So if somebody's actually picked this up at a model show and looked at it like this, and then put it back on the shelf, the photo etch sheet may have fallen out, and it's only about that big. It's tiny. So so there we go. So that's looking round the box. Having a look inside, typical Takom, very thin box lid, but quite a nice sturdy box. Individually bagged sprues, and as you can see here, we've got some very fine parts, and it's very nice to see that Takom are actually moulding railings as plastic parts rather than that stupid what they did with the Bismarck. In the end, I threw that thing in the bin. Those Bismarck photo etch railings were a joke. You can see here we've got individually bagged sprues and lots of tiny parts. Very fine pieces. Got 2 sprues there the same. That's good. And then we have here is some of our structure, and we can see we've got some nice rivet detail and everything on there, or bolt detail, whatever it may be. And we've got main parts of the island there, some pipe work, and then we've got the brows over the portholes. We've got all the rivets or bolts or whatever around the portholes. The tread plate here, all very nice, all very nicely moulded. and it's going to look absolutely lovely with some rust and chipping and stuff on it. So, as some of you will know, I have a particular soft spot for Akagi, and as I say, as soon as I saw this coming out, I was like, yes, that was on my pre-order straight away. I got this from Hannants. It was on pre-order. If you've got one of these on pre-order from Hannants, and you find that you can't order it, send them an email, because what's actually happened, they didn't receive the allocation they were expecting. And it would appear that all of the allocate, because if you pre-order at Hannants, that product is reserved for you. So if it comes in stock and they only get 5 and they've got 6 pre-orders, then it will be the first 5 people that pre-order will get them. So what happened is they've come into stock, they've all got swallowed up by people who've got them on pre-order, so it's remained on the screen as future releases. So although on the system it's allocating you your kit because you have it pre-ordered, it won't release it for you, it won't allow you to put it in a basket because it's in future releases. So it's a little glitch in the system, but I've spoken to Nigel and he's looking into getting it sorted. But I emailed them, I said, I don't know what's going on, you're telling me this item is in, and you're telling me it's reserved for me, but I can't order it. And then they realised that was the problem. So we've got the base there, which is all very nice. And then here we have our typical, in the bottom of the box, we have our instructions, and there is the photo etch sheet, which is even smaller than I thought it was, and I can't pick it up because I don't have any fingernails. There we go, there's our photo etch sheet, which is absolutely tiny, and that actually fell out the side of the box, so be very, very careful. There might come out one of those gaps there actually. Yes, as you can see, these tabs in the bottom of the box, it'll easily come through there. So make sure you've got the photo etch. It probably should have been in the bag, but it's managed to find its way out. Either that or the bag is split. Yeah, there we go, look, the bag is split. So my bag has a hole in it, and that's where that's come out. So mine probably won't be the only one like it, so be careful. So there we are. So we've got the box all emptied. I'll get this all sorted and we'll have a look through the instructions. Okay, so just before we have a look at the instructions, just want to give a quick shout out to this book here, Japanese aircraft carrier Akagi, and this is from Stefan Draminsky. This is in his Super Drawing 3D series. So very nice. When it says 3D, I'm never sure if that means it's got the 3D glasses in, or you can look at it in 3D, or if it's just because it's like a CAD thing. But anyway, it's a great little book. Lots and lots of images, all computer generated, and very nice little book for adding your detail if you should want to. So there we go. There's that little book out of the way. Right. So have a look at the instructions. Here we have, it's telling us exactly what it is. Pearl Harbor Attack 1941. Be careful with your colours, because when you start reading the history, you will see that she was built as a cruiser initially. I think it was a cruiser, and she was built at the Cure yard. So you think, oh, it should be Cure Grey, but no, she was finished off at the, I think it was Sasebo yard. So be careful about that. So make sure you use the right colour grey. I think it's LP14 is the Sasebo one, isn't it? So here we've got typical Takom, removing PE, secure using super glue, decals, health and safety. And then we've got a sprue callouts here. You can see a multitude of tiny parts. A big deck there, which is nice. And then we start off with assembly of the bridge. You can see we've got the two. Well, this seems a bit daft. Straight away, why would you put these windows in and then put the two halves together? Surely it's better to put those two halves together, deal with the seams, paint it, and then put the windows in. Call me stupid if you like, but that seems the obvious way to do it. And then we've got some bits and pieces going together. It looks like a range finder, and then we've got some of these, the little squawk box things. I don't know. My terminology with all this stuff is, and my knowledge of all this stuff is very, very poor. I'm sorry, but there we go. And then we've got the bridge going together, and then we've got this deck going onto the back there. So we've got this these bits and pieces on here, and then we've got a big spotlight going on there, and then the platform with all the structure underneath, the railing going on the top. It's nice to see that's moulded in plastic rather than the horrible photo etch like they used in Bismarck. Then we've got some supports going on, building out some steps that's going up to that platform, And then we've got some more railings here, again moulded in plastic. Got some drain tubes by the look of it. Door there going in. Looks like we can have doors open or closed, perhaps, I'm not sure. Although there appears to be no detail in this area at all. Hopefully you're not going to be able to see in those windows, because otherwise you're just going to look at nothing. Might be an idea to just put a sheet of black card or something in the middle so you can't just see straight through, because it might look a bit empty in there. More railings going on here, more steps. So it's all looking very, very busy. And those steps are going to be... Okay, there's a railing there going onto the steps, so that's all going to be very, very fragile. You have to be careful not to snap all that off. You can see it all down here, all sticking out. More steps here, so this is going to be the bridge now. So this is the internals of the bridge. And we've got binoculars and some super binoculars or whatever at the front there, or rangefinder, not sure what that is. And then we've got some more steps up here. And we've got some more of these. I believe these are the boxes they talked into or listened from, isn't it? When they used to communicate around the ship, they had those tubes they talked down. We've got some... Is that a stool there or a compass or something? And then we've got a map drawer case or something in there. And then we've got more binoculars and bits and pieces all going around there. So it's absolutely covered in the lookout devices. Devices, not devices. Devices is a village near me. And then we've got some tubes going around there and the base. That's going to be drain tubes or whatever. And then we're building up some more little bases here. We've got some more lookouts or rangefinders, whatever. And we've got another platform there. Putting all that together, we've actually got a machine gun there, which is nice to see. We've got a couple of guns on here. It'll add to a bit of interest. And then we've got the these panels here. They're going to go onto there for detail on the sides. So that's all very nice. We've got detail on the inside walls. There's the glazing on. So these are the inside walls of the bridge. All those details on there, and that's all going to look very nice. Again, unfortunately, typical with Takom and Broader Model and a lot of companies, no colour callouts whatsoever. So you'd have to do some research. I wouldn't rely on the film for your research. I wouldn't necessarily say the interior will be the colour that it was in the film, because that would have just been a stage set. I have seen people build Type 7 submarines after looking at Das Boot, and they've done all the interiors in dark grey, and they were white. They were actually cream. And then we've got more interior panelling there. This is going on for the bridge, so we're building that bridge up, building up the sides, and then more detail going here. We've got some antennas sticking out the side by the look of it, and then we've got that there. I'm assuming that's a compass of some description or something or other going in there. I'm sorry, I don't know what any of it is. And then we've got this structure here, which is a box, the building or walls going in behind the bridge. And then we've got the support assembly that's going to be inside the bridge there. So very, very nicely detailed bridge. It's a shame there's nothing beneath it. Nothing at all. Got some more rangefinders there, some more spotlights, or they might be Morse code lights or whatever they used in Japan. Got some more control units or bits and pieces there for messaging, signalling, whatever. Some more bits and pieces going on top. I may as well just say a load of bits and pieces, or just completely shut up, hadn't I? Got some steps here, some antenna, some more antenna going around the outside there. And then we've got this this big rangefinder here, which is going to go up on the top. And then that's that. So we've completely built our actual island. And then we've got all the protection going on there, the rolled up, whatever they are. And then here we've got the actual base itself, and then we've got this big massive rangefinder here being built up with all the antenna and everything there, or the masts should I say, with all the bits and pieces going on top, all ready to be rigged. So I did notice on that photoette sheet there's some little eyelets. Well, no, they're sights. I thought they were eyelets, they're sights. So not sure how you're going to rig all this up unless they're all moulded on. We'll have a look at the parts in a minute. But we've got all that rigging coming down. And then here they're telling us to just add the island to the base, and that's it, job done. So here we've got the colour callouts, and this is from belt number 5023, that's kit number 5023, and there's no, it's just decal placement. There's no colour call-outs in this kit whatsoever. Painting and marking guide. Well, that's hardly a painting guide because it doesn't tell you anything. It's showing you the deck's brown and that's grey, but you know. And we've got some more kits here. So I must get that one actually. I must get the HMS hood. I've got those two. Must get that one. So there we are. So that's the instructions. So yeah, unfortunately, again, as usual with Takom, no colour call-outs, but not as usual with Takom, no colour call-outs at all, not even in the painting guide. So there we go. So there's our little sheet of photo etch. So you can see tiny little bits. So it looks like aiming sights for guns or something, doesn't it, on there? But it's tiny, tiny little pieces. And then we've got our decals here. Again, Takom decals generally okay. It's just those ones on the Apache were awful. But thinking about Takom kits I've built before, they've been fine. There we are. So all our stripes there for the deck, you'd probably want to paint those on. And then we've got some instrument dials there. We've got the map that goes on the side of the bridge there. And then here's a chart that also goes on the side of the bridge. We've got some little placards there as well. As you can see, very, very nice little decal sheet. Looks quite complete. So, very nice indeed. Right, let's start looking at some plastic. We'll start off by looking at this deck. Turn the camera off because I had a frog in my throat. So, very, very nicely done. You can see we've got all the tie downs here. We have some little tiny, you can see here we have some raised, that's the plastic injection point. So we'll just sand those off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's about 10 of them I guess. But it's very, very nicely done. And it's also nice and flat, which is a nice touch. A little bit disappointed there's absolutely nothing under here. When you look at it end on, it looks a bit daft. It's got this, the island's going to be sat here, and it's just sat on this ledge leaning out. And it seems a bit weird that they didn't just bring this out to here, or sort of put that, carry that shape. You know, why didn't they carry that shape on around there like it is on the real thing? It just seems a bit weird to me. But the most annoying thing about this kit, and the only annoying thing I've seen so far, is the way they've done this bloody planking again. These manufacturers keep doing it. If you look on here, the planking, can I catch it in the light? It's absolutely perfect. You've got that length there. Okay, sorry, you've got that length there, which is exactly the same as 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and then 4 over, and then 4 over, and then 4 over, and it's so you end up with this constant line of planks. Like they cut every single plank to an exact length, and they never ever did a repair, and they never ever got one even 1 millimeter out. And they do it on ships, they do it on all the manufacturers. The only time I've ever seen it done correctly is when Hasegawa have done the wooden deck for Akagi, and they've got it in planks, and the planks are, you know, I mean, what length are these planks on here? They are 40 millimeters, so 4 times 72. 4 times 72 is, what's that, 144, 288. So that's, every single one is 2.8 meters long. Every single one. Okay? It's just crazy. They wouldn't have been every single one 2.8 meters long. So it's just, I just find it very, very annoying that they do this. And as for size, this base is, what's that, 365 by 290. So it's a nice little size, and it's manageable for a large shelf to display. You could have it there with the island there, have the back against the wall there, and have a 0 or a couple of zeros here, or an Aichi, whatever, Kate, and it's going to be nice. Now the border models one, as I say, is 1/35 scale, so it's going to be twice the size of this. So the deck is made up of 4 pieces this size, so you're going to have this great big seam to deal with. I bet they've also done the same with the planking. And I believe all the tie downs in there are separate pieces of photo etch. These are all just moulded. If you can see those close up, they're all just moulded on. But interestingly, the border model is a very similar price. I think they're within about £10 of each other. So very surprising on the price. But I think this one will probably be a lot more popular purely because of its size. You can imagine in 35th scale it's going to be 500, but it's about 500 by 500 the base, so it's absolutely massive. Where are you going to put that? You know, I mean, people say the same with big aircraft, but at least with big aircraft, a lot of times you can take the wings off, or you can put the big aircraft in the middle and have little aircraft around it. But when you've got something with a huge, you know, 500mm square base, you need a 500mm square space to put it in, and that's it. You can't put anything else on it unless you want to put a little aircraft on there. But the way border models are bringing out their aircraft, it's going to be 10 years before we ever see another one. The way it's going, it's absolutely ridiculous. They announce kits. You know, when was the Kate announced? When was the Spitfire announced? When was the Zero announced? It's just, they're just taking forever to do anything. But there we go. So that's very nice size. Just a little disappointed in the planking and that there. I guess the planking could easily be sorted by just, you know, filling in the odd one or two and get rid of the complete repetitive issue that they've got there. It really does annoy me, and I don't know why they all do it. So here we have the clear parts. So these are probably going to be very nice now in Takom. Yes, they are. Very nice indeed. So have a look at these against the instructions. So you can see there, flat clear parts. It's no issue. No issue with distortion or anything. So you're going to see all those lovely details in the bridge. You might want to put some figures in there. You might want to have Yamamoto stood in there or something, looking out through a pair of binoculars or something. But very nice indeed. There's all our glazing for the actual island itself. So very nice. I'm going to put this away so it doesn't get scratched as per normal. Oh, I hate these bags. Right. You can probably tell from the tone of my voice and my attitude, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm not feeling it all good. Don't know why. Just feel like I guess you feel like if your wife left you yesterday or something. Although I suppose some of you would be elated. Right. So there we go. So this is the G sprue. So that's just some flat panels. And you can see all the swirl marks in there from the moulding, but there's no sinkage or anything there. It's all very nice. They're quite thin as well. So there we are. Centre of the G's being punched out. That's that one. And then this one here, this is the K sprue, and this is all our protective bags. Unusually for Takom, we've got some very large mould seams on here. You can see on there, the mould seams are huge. Especially for a brand new tool kit. I mean, look at them there. If the camera wants to focus. They're huge. You can see them around the side of there as well. It's almost like flash. But I'm going to say it again. They feel quite oily. But nicely done. Proper random rather than just all being straight lines. You can see here they've got the shapes out, and it saves us having to make them out of milliput and stuff. But yeah, very nice indeed. But they're going to take a lot of clean up, and I suggest you make sure you got some sanding sponges, because there's some mega seams there to get rid of. I'm going to pause the camera a minute and put some of these sprues back in their bags, because otherwise I'm going to get all mixed up with what they are. Okay, we're back. So here we have sprue B, and obviously we've got two of these. So we can see on here some very crisp, fine moulding stands here for our binoculars and stuff, and some little hatches there. Or is that the back of that's the back of the light, isn't it? And then there's the front of the light there with the shutters. You can see that's actually see-through, so it's a nice touch. An antenna there. And then all sorts of bits and pieces of structure and brackets and little bits and pieces going on. Looks like little gauges or compasses or something. You can see all those tubes there that they would listen from, and there's the ones they would talk through. And binoculars here. So there we go. But it is very crisply done, and I haven't yet seen any of Takom's usual silly sprue connections where they have the sprue connection running onto the good face rather than running onto the back face, which is good to see because that's one of their biggest bugbears for me. But that's nicely slide molded there, that piece. So you get all the nice uninterrupted detail around the outside. You're going to have a seam, but you're not going to have any sprue nibs to deal with or anything. So yeah, as I say, you got two of those. So that's very nice. Now here we have the most fragile sprue in the box. So I'm going to make sure I put this one straight back in its bag. And you can see here we have lots of very, very fine little pipes. Cable, I don't know what they are. It looks like they're all just pipes and handrails and stuff. Some antenna here or outriggers, whatever they are. But when you can see how easy it's going to be to break all this, and you really don't want this floating around on your bench because it's only going to just catch one edge and that's it, part broken. A lot of this will probably break as you get it off the sprue because of the way the plastic flows and everything, as I've explained before. But you can see there's absolutely gorgeous moulding, really crisp, sharp, and you can imagine, you know, cleaned up nicely, all the seam lines gone, painted up, chipped and weathered a bit. It's going to look stunning. It's going to look absolutely stunning. So yeah, you even need to be careful how you hold this, because obviously if I pick this up and put my fingers here, it's just going to break them. You know, you've got to be really careful. So I am going to put this straight away back into its bag. Oh dear, dear, dear. I really don't like these bloody resealable bags. You put them down and they just stick to everything, and I know you can stick the edge of the bag down to the bench and fold it over and all that, but life's too short. I'm sorry guys, I'm just not feeling it today at all. Wrong side of the bed. Okay, so there we go. So very gently rub that back over. I'm going to put it over here so I don't put anything on top of it, so it can go back in the box at the top. Right, another very fragile sprue here. It's not as fragile, but you can see lots and lots of fine detailed parts. We've got some steps there, which are slide molded so the sides are nice and hollow. Very beautifully done. And there's more there the same. Again, be careful, I almost snapped that off then. No, I didn't. I thought I did snap it then for a minute. But yeah, very, very careful. Look at this here. That's going to be so difficult to clean up and not break anything. Oh, so much better than having it in photo etch. Really, really well done, Takom. And I haven't yet seen, as I say, any of those silly moulding sprue gates. But you can just imagine, you know, cleaning this up, trying to get that piece out of there. I would probably see that's broken already. Look there. So yeah, it's not going to be easy to get all this together, but it'd be easier to just put that on and then add that little piece in afterwards, rather than try and glue it back together, or glue it back together on the sprue even. But you can imagine trying to get that piece out of there without breaking anything is going to be very difficult. And then of course you've got the sprue nib to clean up and sand and everything while you're trying to support this tiny little piece of railing. There's also quite a little mould seam on there as well, but you can see there where it's broken. So all well and good. The other thing I noticed actually with this kit, there's quite a lot of room in the box for it all to float around. So if you do have a rough postman, then there's potential for a lot of damage. Oh, come on. And as I say, I know that you can stick the back of the bag down and everything, but I really just can't be bothered. Right. Let's get that folded over it, because again, I mean, these sprues, very, very fragile. And the trouble is with stuff like this, with all these railings and stuff, you get two of these sprues rubbed together, that's it, 10 parts broken straight away. So again, I'll put that over there. Right, now we're on to some more general stuff. So this is obviously sprue E, as you can see there. Very nicely done. We got this big mast here, got this very long ladder part there, another mast there. So that looks like it's mainly sort of mast assembly, and this is greeblies going around. We've got those supports going underneath that, that little deck where the lamp sits. So yeah, slide molded parts here as well. So there's that little chest with the map reading thing, I think it is, and that's your drawers there with your maps in them. So again, very, very clean, but lots of clean up because we've got some big sprue gates and everything on here. But again, I'm not seeing any of those stupid sprue gates where they mould them onto the face of the part. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. We have there the pulley blocks for the rigging, so you can drill some little holes in them, whatever, and run your rigging down off. And it's gonna be a very, very impressive model built properly. It's going to look really, really good, even done as a brand new, museum piece without any weathering or anything. It's going to look very, very nice indeed. There we go, and they look great. And I've got the Yamato gun turret, and that looks stunning. So this alongside that is going to look great. So here we have some more getting bigger and bigger now. So this is the detail around the bridge. So you can see we've got the interior detail here, which is absolutely plastered and ejector pin marks, but they're going to be easy to sand out. They're all recessed, so they're all going to need to be filled, but they're easy enough to sand out. So that's the internal wall of your bridge, and then that's the external walls with all the rivet detail on there. You can see that detail on there, the rivet detail is lovely, really, really nice. And there's your panel inside with gauges and everything on. So, and there's a block there, but it looks like it's like a grid, but I don't think you can see through it. Just put it up to the light a minute. No, you can't see through it. You could perhaps drill them out, but if you got one of those drills that does square holes, you'd be laughing. There we are. Very nice. And then the final sprue. Here we have our main structure. So this is our main island, obviously. So the bridge is going to be sat on top of that. So it's going to be a lot taller than what you're seeing here. As I say, remember, in here is going to be completely open. So when you look through these windows, you're just going to see straight through out the other side. So probably get a bit of black card or something, or some plastic card, paint it black, put it across the middle, just to sort of take away that hollow openness. Yes. And then this is the floor of the bridge, I'm guessing. I'm thinking, yeah, this is the floor of the bridge. So we've got this tread plate in here, which is always, I don't know why they did that, the Japanese. They did this massive tread plate. You think a 72nd scale figure there. You could stand a man between those lines, and very, very strange. You've got the same here, same here, same here, same here, and there's that parts of that big rangefinder that's going to go in front of the island there. And then this is the bit that's going to sit on top of the bridge, and you can see here's the detail inside the bridge. We've got these great big Z pins to break off on here. That's going to be your roof detail inside the bridge. So inside of the bridge is going to be a proper little spectacle to look at on this. Absolutely crammed full of detail, so that's going to look lovely. As I say, for you figure painters, it's going to look lovely to have some figures stood in there. Like I say, Yamamoto looking out. So there we go. And that, my friends, is that. So we've had a look at everything now. Quite impressed, actually. Size-wise, it's lovely. Detail-wise, it's lovely. My knowledge of the subject is lacking, to say the least. I'm sorry, but yeah, the only downside I see to it is that bloody planking, which is always a problem, and also this very open area here. As I say, when you look at the model, when you look at it like this, or when you look at it like this, if you've got a light behind it, you're just going to see daylight straight through those holes because it's just empty. So make sure you put something in there. Perhaps just put a big ball of foam or something in the middle, a big block of sponge. Or you might want to add internal detail. You might want to find out what was actually in there. I should imagine, I mean, you can see some detail inside there from, if you look at the dive done late last year from EV Nautilus. They've actually dived on Akagi, and they've actually got, thinking about it, I'd forgotten actually, they have actually got some close-up images of the bridge, of all this area here, I think it is. It's all obviously very badly damaged from the war, and also because it's been under the sea for 80 odd years. But yeah, but on the whole, very, very nice indeed. It's going to build into a beautiful model, which is going to be a lovely size. And as I say, if you get yourself a little 1/72 scale Kate or Ochi or something and just sit it on there, it's really going to make it pop. Perhaps some figures as well. So very, very nice. Very happy with that. I bought 2 kits this week from Hannants, so I've got a second one to show you, which is very unusual indeed, and I'll probably review that over the weekend, maybe tomorrow, but certainly the art's not in it today. Sorry guys, but there we go. I'm glad hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you've stayed around, and if you have, thank you very much, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.